So Aryan, you are like you're not reading marathon, but try to read some books during the summer.
Yes.
Okay. So I think you read already The Alchemist and Pauper and the Prince, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. How do you? I want to know how you compare those two books. Okay.
Well,
Okay. I'll ask you the question. You answer. That may be easier.
Okay.
Okay. Which one do you like better, The Alchemist or The Pauper and the Prince?
Probably The Alchemist, because it's like my age now in the new generation, and The Pauper and the Prince is kind of an old classic, while The Alchemist is a new classic with more of like scientific fiction type of thing.
So you think because the other one is old, you don't want to like something old?
Yes, exactly.
That's not fair. Okay. But you like the way of writing, okay? When you compare the author, you like the way of writing of Mark Twain, or who's the author of Alchemist?
Coelho.
Oh, okay, okay. Coelho.
I think that Paulo Coelho is a bit better at writing, because Mark Twain does not really think about his younger audience and writes in a way that like old kings used to write in, and younger audiences can't really like understand what they're saying most of the time. Like
That was the language of that time. Maybe after after 100 years, if the people read Alchemist, of course they may not. That language may be totally different, so you cannot compare that.
Yeah, but
how about like humor sense or like fiction content or like imagination? Those factors, if you take it.
in those factors, I think Mark Twain's a bit better at humor. Imagination definitely goes to Paulo Coelho. If you actually read The Alchemist, he goes crazy. But for like humor, Mark Twain, they have like the most sarcastic comments in the entire book. Like when you read the book, you understand there's a bunch of like sarcasm going on, and a bunch of humor, and a lot of jokes in sense.
In Mark Twain's book?
Yes.
Okay, so he got a plus one, of course. Who are we to judge Mark Twain or Paulo Coelho? So what is the background of the story of Alchemist?
Well, the background is of a kid, and he's pretty much trying to travel to find his personal legend. But while he's trying to find his personal legend, he comes across an old man who sends him off on a journey to find treasure. And while he goes on the journey, he meets lots of people and gains even superhuman abilities.
Which part of the book was interesting? Was the beginning or end or middle? Near the end was the most interesting part?
Yeah, it just goes crazy near the end, where the kid starts meeting gods, like the sun god, the night god, and the wind, everything. And they gave him the access to turn into wind. So
that's interesting for you?
Yeah, it's like he's pretty much God.
So God is interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. How about, where is this kid from? What is the backdrop of the story?
Okay.
Like, where does the story occur?
Okay, this story starts in Spain, as this kid is a kid who wanted to travel around the world as he was young. So he started living in Spain with his parents, but then he decided to travel, so he became a shepherd and traveled around the world.
Is it the whole story based on the childhood of the kid, or does the story shows the developmental ages?
Yeah, well, no, it does not show the development ages, but it does show the development
the kid is the kid in the beginning of the story and the kid at the end of the story?
Well, there's no age difference. They're still 16, but they have development during the story. Like first, he's like afraid to do his personal legend and things like that, but during the end, he just decides to go all out and do it.
Okay. But we don't know whether he is become older.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about that.
Okay. What does alchemist mean?
An alchemist is a person who can change any mineral, such as nickel or copper, into gold using certain things, such as the elixir of life and the masterwork.
What did you dislike about the story?
Probably the fact that it really did not have a main storyline.
She doesn't have a main storyline.
You think?
What do you think?
You think
You're
that?
contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not actually.
Uh-huh.
During the start of the story, you think the main storyline is him finding the personal legend,
Uh-huh.
but then it's about him finding a treasure.
Uh-huh.
But after that, it's about him getting married to a girl and wanting to stay with her forever. And then it goes back to him finding the treasure at the very end to find out that the treasure is actually, well, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's somewhere he knows very familiar. So this entire story pretty much did not have like...
Maybe it's maybe I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking that the author was depicting life of a human being. I think it's a life of a human being. That's what every man does. Like, you search for something which in your whole life and you get everything, then you find that whatever you search for was there, always with you. Maybe that was, I don't know. Okay, so it has a main storyline. You cannot say it didn't have a main storyline. I don't know. I don't know what.
Between main
No,
storylines.
I don't know what you mean by the word main storyline.
The
Okay.
main storyline is like think of a movie, for example. Like in King Kong, there are two main storylines for the two different main characters. The first group of main characters wanted to kill King Kong, while the other group of main characters wanted to keep King Kong. So that was kind of the main storyline of that story.
So then you mean that there is no predictability of the story?
No, not really. It could go crazy at any time.
Yes, so
Like-
that means there is no the story is very unpredictable.
Yeah, it's pretty unpredictable.
Okay, sorry. How about Prince and Pauper? What do you like about the story? Oh, you were saying that you did not like it because the language was old world language.
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
like it's not something a kid can understand pretty well.
But didn't you like that it's a totally different language? It interests you.
The only thing that language interests me on is its humor, because it's just so funny to hear them sometimes. They're like, "Thee shall go and die." The fort. And it's
What do you like about that story?
Well, I liked pretty much the climax of the story. You think that he was going to be the prince forever until he sees someone at the coronation and decides to tell everyone that, well, he's not the prince and that he's a pauper. And you know what I really don't understand? How the real prince comes back. Because during the middle of the story, he goes somewhere, and during the end, he just comes back, and you have no clue how he came back.
Maybe you
So-
missed some part when you were reading. I don't
No,
know.
I did not miss a part.
Okay. Okay. Do you like the prince or the pauper?
The pauper.
Okay. Why did you like the pauper than the prince?
Well, the pauper is way smarter. The pauper made more interesting decisions. And the prince, well, during his prince reign, he did make a few interesting decisions, as it states in the end of the story. And a pretty merciless time.
What do you
but-
mean by interesting decision?
And interesting decisions, like something that can prove to be a benefit for the country. Well, that's the way the book states it, of course. And the prince pretty much, well, he had a merciless reign, but he didn't do anything that important like what Lincoln did to like take out slavery and stuff like that. He didn't do anything like that. While the pauper, he becomes a well-known hero throughout the entire land as the boy who became the prince and did an actual good job without knowing what a prince is, pretty much.
Okay, you think so the pauper, even though he doesn't know what to do, he did a good job. That's why you liked him.
He made good decisions.
He made good decisions. Then, any other characters you liked in the story?
Probably,
What was the base of the story? Humor, sadness.
Sadness.
Sad. Oh, okay.
because the pauper has lived a very hard life. Mother's like his only like idol, perhaps. His father and his grandma always abuse him, and his sisters and his mother are like the only ones who actually help him.
Okay. Is there any? Those kids are, how old are they? The prince and the pauper. Though they are kids or big people?
They're kids.
Oh.
They're probably, Well, I don't remember it stating that, but I think they're around like 14 or 15-ish. Because if they're going to be the king very soon, of course, they got to be like names like
Okay.
that.
So you like Alchemist better than Prince and Pauper.
Yes.
Which one relates better to life? Like the life.
Alchemist.
Alchemist, even though it's a fiction, you think that relates better to life?
Well, you're the one who said it related better to life, because just previously you said that Alchemist is more of like what happens in life. You look for a treasure, but you realize that.
But I didn't. I just got it from what you told. I did not. I read this story a long time ago, but I did not remember it. Okay. Okay then. I think, okay, which is the next book you're going to read?
Well, I'm reading right now currently 80 Days Around the World and the 5 People You Meet in Heaven.
Who's this 80 Days Around the World?
Jules Verne
Uh-huh.
and the 5 People You Meet in Heaven, or was it 5? I think it was like 8 or 5.
7 people you
Yeah,
meet
it was
in
7. That's my Mitch album.
Okay then. Okay, hope you'll be able to read it. Okay, bye.
Bye.